Come on in, come on in. Good night, everybody. Come on in.
Hey,
Come on in. Good night. As you are coming in, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We are going to start. We are live. Welcome, welcome.
welcome, welcome, welcome,
Yes, come
welcome.
on in.
Bless up, bless up, bless up.
Greetings. How are you?
Good to see everybody tonight. Good
Good
to
to
see
see
everybody
you.
here tonight.
Awesome. Good to see
Blessings, blessings,
everyone.
blessings.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another live. Welcome. It is the platform, and this is the channel
Yes, yes,
when
yes.
two become
One,
one. Once again, this is the platform when
to
two become
become one.
one. And we are so excited to be on again tonight. We have a very interesting topic, one that many would probably overlook, one
Mm,
that many times we may not go deep into. But before we get
yes.
to that, let me just allow you to introduce yourself and
Good night,
greet the
everybody.
platform.
My
Good
name is
night.
Anthony Bogle. I'm a speaker and an entrepreneur. And this is my beautiful wife,
Hello.
Miss
Shanice
Shanice.
Layla Bogle.
Yes.
Yes, tonight we are here to talk about help.
Hmm.
How can I or how do I love my spouse the right way? And
Yes,
you know,
yes.
people would say, is there a right way to love somebody? Is there a wrong way to love your partner? And that's why we see so much frustration going on in relationships, in marriages, because you may believe that you are doing your best, you are loving someone the best you know how,
Yes,
and
yes,
that person still seems starved,
yes.
still seem like something is wrong.
Wrong.
And again, before we go any further, I want to just say welcome to our day ones or subscribers and to our new
New
subscribers. Welcome
subscribers.
to the family. You are in the right place at the right time. Yes, we are all about healing, marriage, passion, and
Yes,
purpose,
yes,
rekindling purpose.
yes.
And we are talking about, once again, how do you love your spouse the right way?
Hmm.
So many people are doing what they think is the best, and it's just not cutting it because something seems off.
Yes,
So, have
yes,
you
yes.
ever loved anyone that you thought you were loving the right way?
Definitely, definitely,
But there is
definitely.
some kind of glitch. It's causing frustration because you think you're doing the most,
Mm.
but the person is not really receptive of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so many, you know, what's funny? While I was just interacting with the community before we came live, I was getting some responses. Some persons were saying, no, I'm not doing anything or everything and anything to show my spouse that I love them. They're not doing it. Some people were just saying, listen, I'm not going there.
Wow,
So
wow.
there, it seems that there are some limits to where people will go, and many times it's really just probably ignorance as to how
Hmm.
do you love somebody the
Hmm.
right way. How do you
Hmm.
love somebody the right way? What are your thoughts on that?
I love this topic.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful topic.
Indeed,
You know,
it's
um,
interesting.
and it's so funny. Today when I saw that you had put up
Yes.
the whole part of do anything for your baby,
Oh, the Joe
yeah,
song.
yeah,
Anything
yeah,
you
yeah,
say, I'll do.
yeah. And it's so funny that it was the same song that came to
That
me.
came to you? All
Mm,
right.
and
Yes.
again, back in the days is different than now.
Yeah,
You
how
know
so?
why? Because as you see, even the whole song, men singing in
The
the rain,
souls,
and
yes, the
I
tender.
would do anything for you type of stuff, and people weren't ashamed.
Yeah.
But now we're in a time where it's like there's a limit to how you love somebody. And it blows my mind.
Yeah.
The Bible speaks about love.
Yes.
The Lord mentioned no greater love than this, than a man should give his life
Plays life for a
for his
friend.
friend. So it shows how deep
Yeah.
this whole concept of love is. And I promise you, I feel like
Yes.
society has placed a limit on what love looks like.
Yeah.
That's
Or how
some,
much you should do
yeah.
to prove that you love.
And again, you know, the scripture when the Lord speaks on love, it's coming from a sacrificial aspect. You know, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
And the addition on that, and give his life for it. So in every aspect, you know,
Ephesians
especially
5.
the Bible,
Yeah.
is speaking about giving your life. It's speaking about giving your life.
Yeah. Some form of giving.
Yes, it's and it shows it's sacrificial, and it never, when you mention give your life for your friend.
Yeah.
No greater love than this, than a man should give his life for his friend. It never says your child or you know, your sister or your brother. It speaks on your friend. And it shows that, listen, how how do you look at it's almost like a command, or how do you look at a statement that
Yeah.
says, listen, no greater love than this, than a man should give his life for his friend.
Yeah.
So outside of that, it shows you, especially when it comes to the mind of God,
Yeah.
that this word that we you know, we sometimes put a limit on based on how we act, is how deep it is.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? A lot of persons might get mixed up with the whole concept of feelings. You know, if I feel this way, that means I love this person, or
Yeah.
if I feel this. But you know, as we always say, feeling comes and
feeling
feeling
goes.
goes.
Yeah.
So you can't measure love based on feelings. Love is an action word.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Love is an action word, guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with how you had phrased it, girl. Maybe I'll do anything for
Anything
you.
you say, I do. But isn't that the reason why we're saying, how do I love my spouse the right way? Because isn't that taking in the fact that there can be wrong ways that you are loving the person that you are with? Because sometimes this is what is causing the frustration in the relationship, where you are doing something and you're consistent and you're on point, but the person is not satisfied. Is it possible that you are not doing it the way they want to be loved?
And that's where the controversy is.
Yeah.
I feel like even when we spoke about love language, in the past, we spoke about learning a person's love language,
Yeah.
loving a person in that aspect of what their love language
Yeah.
is or are. But at the same time, you might be loving the person from your
From
love
your
language.
right, so from our point of
You
view.
get- yeah.
And that is why when that's why I feel like that's why some people were saying, not anything you say I'll do,
Yeah.
because it could be something contrary to how they feel comfortable expressing themselves. And then we wonder, is it bad or is it wrong to basically do anything or be anything for the person? Hello, Bradley. God
Hello,
bless
Bradley.
you. Is it wrong to do anything for this person or for your spouse? Because again, is this what this person needs? And you can be doing anything and giving everything, and again, it's still not going to be enough. I feel like there are some things that, you know, one should really look at first before you can say you are loving the right way.
Yes.
You're loving your spouse the right way. I don't know if you have any first thing first you want to start with, but
I feel like when you talk about loving a person the right way, again, as we you know, we're talking up, we're mentioning, it's understanding who you're with. You get what I'm saying? It's understanding the type of person that you're with, and it goes
yeah,
both ways.
yeah,
I feel like when you understand the person that you're with,
yeah,
and you know, you're deliberate in having these conversations, you know, and that's where a lot of persons go wrong in their relationship,
Yeah.
not understanding how are, you know, what we say, float your partner's boat in a sense.
Yeah,
And
rock the
so
boat.
yeah, and so we try to love that person in our way of how we show love, but
Yeah.
at the same time, the person is saying, listen, this is
this
not
is
it.
not me. This is not me.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I will repeat and I will go back again. Love is an action word.
Yeah,
It's easy sometimes to say I love you, but at the same time, your action is saying something something contrary.
yeah,
So you have to understand your partner's love language, again, as I said, and who you're dealing with, and have these conversations where
Yeah.
you can say, okay, am I doing this based on what I think your love language is or how I think you should be loved? Or I'm really listening to what you're saying and going according um,
Good point.
to it.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I'm hearing you say like a whole mixture of points in the middle, in the mix of the first point. I feel like, and I do agree, I feel like before it even gets there, there's an aspect that we have to look at. If we are the ones who the love is coming from, we have to start looking at ourselves. So I would say to someone who is married tonight that your first step to loving your partner, quote unquote, right way, is to look at yourself and look at how you like to be loved. How do you process attachment? There's something called attachment style that everybody grew up in a dynamic
Yes.
based on how love was presented to you. And so this is how you're going to learn to go out in the world and then attach yourself to other people
Yes.
because your style was mimicked from those who were a role model to you. So if you were anxiously attached, where things didn't seem certain, love didn't seem certain, and if you were disorganized in attachment style, where it was dysfunctional and your family didn't really, they weren't a good role model for your love style, then you are going to move on to attaching
Yes.
yourself to somebody in a disorganized way, in a an anxious way or in a healthy way, because attachment style starts from you were a baby,
Yes.
you were a child. And so who showed you how to love? Who modeled love for you? We have to start there. And then I feel like, okay, when I know how I attach myself, when I know my love language, then I can now look at, oh my God, I've been loving this person from myself.
Yourself, yes.
And here's the tricky part. Sometimes we can say, okay, we're loving from myself, but we're also saying I'm not loving you how you want to be loved.
Yes.
Because of what I've been through,
Yes.
because of who I am, because of how I want to be loved. And that's not comfortable for me.
Yes.
That's not comfortable, and I'm not going out of my way. And so I guess this is why somebody said, who, me? I am not doing anything you say I'll do. So
Yes.
jump back to your point where you talked about learning the person and telling your spouse or asking your spouse.
Yeah, as I said, it's a conversation that two-person needs to be had.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times, being in a relationship, and we talk about
Yeah.
it a lot, where it's almost like just floating.
Yeah.
You're just floating by.
Default.
Yeah, you're just floating by. And it's easy to be, get caught up in this whole aspect of, being in a relationship. You go to work, you
Yeah.
have kids, you do this, you do that. That you really haven't really taken the chance or taken the time to stop and think. Look at how the whole aspect of your marriage is going when it comes to how you express love. How does this person really respond? Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe you have persons that really don't say much. You have persons that are just not talkative.
Yeah.
When it comes to emotions and sharing your
Expression,
emotion and
yeah.
expressing yourself and talking about certain things. So you can get so caught up in, are blindsided when you
Yeah.
feel like everything is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then that other person is suffering
Yeah.
and starving of that love. And so you mentioned a point that talked about you said ask the person, because there is no other way to know how you want to be loved, and apart from studying the person and watching and being deliberate about what this person is saying in their, maybe you're just having a regular conversation, maybe they're talking to somebody else and they're mentioning things that, oh my God, that is so lovely.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's a tip that they would want that, or they would want me to say this to them. So deliberately studying your person.
Yes.
I know there's a biblical definition or way to how to love your spouse, and the Bible says love like yourself, how you love yourself, the nourishing of your body, the cherishing, and the other ways of commitment and unity and respect and consideration of your own self, selfless love. But your spouse is actually the main text. Your spouse is the biggest, one of the one, not the biggest, but one of the biggest manuals to study from or to read from,
Yes.
because they are the ones you're living with. They are the ones that you are actually there with on a daily basis. And that is the person, they're the ones who you need to read. So
Yes.
you say read marital books. As if somebody said premarital counseling is crucial. Very
To find
good.
that information. It
Yes.
is important to express what and how you feel about sensitive subjects.
Yes.
Without it being lustful and perverse
Yeah, perverse desire.
desire.
That is a
That
very
is so,
good
that is
point.
so true.
Very
that
good
is,
point.
that is so true.
Yes, and so when you can take that information and speak to the person, that's one of the main ways you will hear and you will now be able to act on. Because I promise you, there are so many assumptions in marriage. There are so many assumptions in marriages, in relationships, in partnerships, where we just feel like and we think that this is what the person wants, and we move to it, and then expectation gets crushed, and expectation turns into resentment,
Yes.
because either it wasn't accepted well and you feel neglected, or how I felt I want to be loved is not being met.
Yes.
You ever felt that way? Like some people, like, you have this trait in you, but let's say, for example, me, I'm not fulfilling that desire. And you had an expectation, but you never tell me. You didn't tell me.
Yes.
And so when it's not met,
Unspoken.
it's unspoken desires, it turns to resentment. Because there's that secret language or secret words, expectation that you did not say.
Yes.
You had it in you, but you didn't tell.
True, true. You made a very vital point when you mentioned a person's attachment style, or just how a person might receive love or express love.
Yeah.
And is very serious, because I know, and I feel like, well, I won't put me in the category,
In
'cause
terms of?
I'm different. I'm more expressive,
Yeah.
I speak on what I want.
Very. He's very expressive.
Yeah, but I feel like you have so many men, especially men. I can only speak on the men, where whether it's based on their community,
Yeah.
whether it's based on trauma, whether it's based on parenting, the
Yeah.
parenting aspect, like how they were brought up. Love was mimicked in a certain type of way. Whether it's their parents just buying stuff for them.
Yeah.
You have some that their parents were overseas. You call them
Barrel child, yeah.
children. That that's how their parents show them love. Buy them a bunch of stuff and send it down.
Yeah.
I say, yo, wear that and do this and do that. But not being in their space to show,
Yeah.
to give a hug. You get what I'm
Emotionally
saying?
available.
Yeah, to give a hug, to physical touch and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So now,
They get married.
you get older, now that you're married,
Yeah.
it's hard to give what you don't have.
Yes. Come on. Hard.
It's very hard to give what you
very
what you
hard.
don't have. And guys, I had to learn that on my own.
Yeah.
Being in school, and my parents had showed me love at a younger age was buying me stuff, then provide, they make sure say you eat, they make sure say you this, you make sure say you that. But the I love you wasn't there.
Yeah.
The hug and the this and the that, even
Wow.
if there was, it wasn't like something that you would remember. It wasn't consistent, it wasn't something like that. So, I remember just being at school and seeing I had some girlfriends that how they when they grew up, how they
They
interact,
hug.
hey girl, and they would
Yeah.
hug each other. And after a while, I would be in the mix.
Yeah.
Hey, Bogle, and I would get a hug, and that's how I got familiar and
With hugging.
with the whole aspect of hugging. I'm like,
Wow.
wow, this is nice,
Yeah.
And so it was kind of
That's-
easy for
that's a
me,
good
because over time it became a part of who I am, and I
Yes.
realized how much a hug meant to me,
Yeah.
and so I was able to express it to somebody else.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying, guys? So
That's powerful.
yeah, some things are learned along the way.
Yes.
But you have some persons that their mind just might be just closed off to the fact that, okay, I don't need to do this because it don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow.
You get
Wow.
what I'm saying?
Wow.
It don't
Yeah.
mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it should be big for if I'm married
Yeah.
or I have kids, I should hug them. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
again, you can't give what you don't have.
Is it that you can't give you? Yes, you can't give what you don't have, but do you feel like you can learn to give what
that's
something
why
that you never had?
that's why I said I had to learn it over time.
Okay.
You get, but if you're not exposed to it, or if you have not been in a place where you said, okay, I am going to mimic this thing.
Right, it's modeled.
Yeah, I am going to model this whole act.
It's gonna be hard.
You get
Very
what I'm
hard.
saying?
Yes, that's a great point. Ephesians 5, I heard you mention it earlier. Ephesians 5 verse 25 through to 28, or actually from 22 through to 28. It talks about loving yourself, or loving your spouse as Christ loves the church, husband submitting to the wife, submitting to the husbands, and the husband loving the wife as Christ loved the church and give himself up for her. And I know that sometimes people will just use this as the broad sweep to say the right way to love a spouse is to go that route, and that's true, very true. But then when it comes down to what falls under that umbrella, so that's like the broad umbrella, that's the foundation, that's the principle, that's the guideline. And when it comes down now to how do you give yourself for somebody? How do you love somebody as yourself? Because some people don't know how to love themselves.
Yes.
Some people just really don't know how to love themselves. And so I believe the Lord is expecting that when it comes down to the daily life loving and living,
Yes.
we have a responsibility to develop. We have a responsibility to learn and to grow and to be groomed into the love of God, so that we can in turn love each other and make it show. Make it show, because like you said, love is an action. Love is daily decisions. And so if you love me, I will see and I will feel it and I should hear it. But again, be very careful that you're not doing these things because you like them.
Yes.
And you're not doing these things because you're saying this is the most I'll do and I'm not going any further, or this is what I know to do, and so you better take what you get. There is this resounding theme like, I expect you to be the man,
Yes.
but what about you being a wife? Especially a lot of wives would say, I want you to be the man of the house.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But then it's like, to the man, take what you get. Because this is me. This is what I am. This is what I grew up. And I'm guilty of that too, many times.
Yeah, you are?
Yes,
okay.
especially navigating trauma, like we've talked about on some lives, a few videos that we did ago, when we talked about marrying into trauma, where I came in like a big bad raging wolf and bull. And yes, he had his personal struggles and home shaping how you loved and stuff. But when I came into the marriage as a trauma-filled young lady, as a trauma-filled girl, listen, it was not easy. And I'm not talking about just myself. It was not easy to love him how he needed to be loved, because he had needs that were to be catered to, and I had ways I wanted to be loved. And so he's very expressive, but sometimes how you would love me was not what I needed.
Yes. Yes.
Is what I'm saying. Is what we're saying here.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes, and sometimes people say being mushy and huggy, and that's the right way. But sometimes that's not what I needed. Actually, I used to resent the huggy and mushy, and because everybody has a specific need.
Yes.
I hear someone said today that when you get married, you have to identify the type of wholeness that you need.
Yes.
Because some people are very whole, some people are very loving and
Yeah.
expressive,
Can be
and
too
it
much.
triggers
Too
you.
much. Yes.
It's too much to bear.
Yes.
And I know I can talk from experience that for me, it was too much being always on me. No, I thank the Lord for healing. It's not perfect, but I tell you that some people who are hurting
Yes.
and trauma imprinted, this can be very, very triggering
Yes.
for that person. So
Yes.
you have to find out what is the type of wholeness that you need. And you have to say it to your partner, because sometimes you just want them to back off. That's not the type of love I want. Or that's not the way I want you to express your love. Just rub my foot. Just tell me you love me.
Yes.
Or just buy me a flower.
And be gentle about
Be
it.
gentle about it.
Be
And some
gentle.
people
Yeah.
want the hands on, the physical touch. Not everybody wants to be loved the same way.
Yes. Be gentle about it, guys. Because I promise you, if you're the type of person that is deep into your way
Yeah.
of loving, and the person that you think that is receptive
Yeah.
all along, and they know the blue shot till they say, boy, that ain't it.
That's not
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
needed.
you're gonna feel some type of way. So
Yeah.
do it with a
That's where the
little,
resentment
yeah,
comes in now. Like,
with a
what?
little, so the person can understand
Yeah.
where you're coming from. But I think I think I think no, though it's different, no, because persons are not open to the whole aspect of trauma. We can't speak about it enough. It's something that is killing a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
It's killing a lot of relationships because persons are not really open in understanding.
Yeah.
Persons are not open to taking accountability.
Yeah.
Just
Step
kind of
down.
lowering down yourself a little bit to understand what you're really dealing with. So if your partner is saying, listen, this seems off, this seems what,
Yeah.
you just be open.
Yeah.
Open to understand. Take a step back and say, okay, why am I this way? Why am I so edgy? Why am I, not receptive of this type of stuff where
Yeah.
we'd almost say 90% of the world is just, it's normal to them. But for you, it's kind of different. So, okay, why is this off?
Yeah. Why?
You
Why
get-
is why is emotional attachment
Yeah,
off?
yeah. Why?
Okay.
Yeah. Why is that? Off? Why is that something that I'm not so receptive of? You get what I'm saying? And you guys talk about it and see how best you can navigate. Seek help.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But it's something that is destroying a lot of persons
It's true.
because it's easy to come up and want to get married.
Yeah.
You push to get married. You get saved. A Christian, but at the same time, you have never dealt with things that you had happened, imprints that have happened in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times, as we said along the way, that the reason why a lot of persons have not really seen that manifest in a certain type of way is because you have never been in a setting where you have to deal with the same person over and over and over.
To seeing what manifests.
The
What-
trauma, the whole traumatic
Okay.
aspect of whatever imprints you have.
Okay.
You have never seen it manifest, so
Yeah.
you don't know that it's there. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? You might have certain little traits, but you might say, "Oh, this is me, man. This is
Yeah.
who I am."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying without realizing that okay, this is serious
Yeah.
and it can cost you your marriage. You get
Wow.
what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's very big.
Very big. There's another point that I recently realized how much of an importance fully accepting your spouse is. You talked about imprints and traumatic imprints, and it's very true. But I do see a lot of times where not just pride that steps into a relationship where the one person refused to go lower,
Yes.
or both persons refuse to humble themselves, and it's no longer, oh, I was traumatically imprinted, because the truth is not everybody was traumatically imprinted, and not everyone is traumatized even if they came from not the best of homes. Some spouses are very much filled with pride. A lot of spouses are not humble. They're not willing to be submissive or to submit to another person, or to submit under, or to say, I am here to serve you. And so some are just lazy. Some spouses are just
Yes.
lazy, like there's not much. Listen, I think about sometimes how, let me use myself for an example so nobody gets offended. But sometimes I think about how well I comb my hair, or, the effort I put into selecting an outfit, or the effort I put into, how I look, and skincare and hair growth, and all the things that I'm passionate about. Let's take the biggest one. I love trauma healing. I would teach on that in my sleep. And so I spend hours being trained and certified and all the good stuff. But ask me about when last I did a course on marriage.
Yes.
Ask about when last you asked your spouse some questions that you are actually taking it as information. Even if the person is actually saying, you're not doing this and you're not doing that. Do you take it as information? Do you learn your spouse? Are you learning your spouse? Are you deliberately taking the time out to get to know them? Because every day is a learning journey.
Yes.
Every day is a discovering and a discovery in your marriage. And many times when marriages get stale, somebody stopped playing detective. Somebody started to accept, you are how you are, I am how I am, and this is just how we exist. You take what you take, or you take what you get, and I take what I get. It is what it is. And so fire is going to go out. If you are going to rekindle the fire, if you wanted to learn this person 10 years ago, what about now?
Yes.
Remember that they're not staying the same way,
Wow.
People are evolving. And how I am 10 years ago, I am not this way right now. The things I loved 10 years ago, I don't love them now. And the things I love now, I never used to value them 10 years ago. So every stage you are with your spouse, it's a beautiful explorative time.
Amen.
So we're talking about the lack of humility. We're talking about the lack of willingness or being assertive
Yes.
to be deliberate after going to learn and grow with this person. Thinking that it's just dead and cold. And what can we do about it? Tonight, guys, something can be done about it. And the other point I was saying was there's something in counseling called the secret agreement, where you have this agreement in your head that in my mind, I am saying yes to you. And when I say yes to my spouse, all my dreams will come true. All my desires will be met by this man.
Yes.
Because my agreement in my head is that as a spouse, you have to take care of me. And as a spouse, you must love me and find out about me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But where is my openness to him learning me? When did I ever say to him, this is what I need and this is what I don't need? And so when he doesn't show up for me the way I want to, there is resentment. And then I can't accept him. And you see how the ripple effects of barriers come in now? Because I'm upset at you, I'm resenting you. I now start to say, I can't accept you fully because you don't do for me what I want. And then you're looking at me and say, you're always aggravated, you're always frustrated, you're always
Yes.
annoying as a wife. And so guess what? I can't fully accept you either.
Yeah. Pointing fingers at
So
each other.
everybody pointing fingers at each other.
Yes.
The frustration is in the marriage, and now you don't know how to love each other the right way. The right way.
My God. My God.
A bundle of confusion.
Yes. You see, as I said, guys, in this walk, when it comes to being married,
Yeah,
it takes a lot of sacrifice
it sure does.
and also a level of vulnerability.
Yes.
You get what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes.
when God said to husband, love your wife, and wife to submit.
Yes.
The only time a wife will submit is if he's a good leader.
Yep. Yep.
You
Under
understand?
God. Yep.
It has to be if you're not a good leader, she can't submit.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to say is that safety is very important in a
Yes.
marriage.
It is.
Persons have to feel safe. Persons have to feel safe for people to be vulnerable.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And also, it goes back again to how much you have grown when it comes to you as an individual before
Yeah.
you've gotten into marriage. Because you're not going to feel vulnerable or open if you are not at that place.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not going to express yourself if you're not a person that
Yep.
feels regulated when it comes to how you express yourself.
Yes. Yep.
So when you're in a marriage now expecting to meet somebody that's gonna regulate you and cause you to get to that place where you can be vulnerable, it might not be an easy road.
Yeah. Yep.
It might not be an easy road.
Yeah.
And so there's two words that is very vital when it comes to building that intimacy, to be able to love your partner the right way.
Yeah.
Is consistency and being intentional.
Yes. Come on. That's good.
You have to be consistent and intentional.
Yeah.
Just imagine being married to a person for umpteen years. Umpteen years.
Yeah.
It's not gonna always be rose. It's not gonna always be, the same.
Yes.
So it's almost like a business. Every day you get up, you have to be intentional
Yeah.
about how you love this person. You have to be intentional about how you listen to this person.
Yes. Growth
You have-
strategy.
you have to be intentional about how you express. You have
Yes.
to be intentional about how you communicate.
Yes.
You understand?
Amen.
It has to be on the top of your list. And I feel like, as you mentioned, sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
get frustrated at the fact that, okay, to be doing this over and over. But it's something that you have to practice.
Yes.
It's something that you have to keep doing over and
Absolutely.
over. And I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about both. Individual.
Yes.
Have to say, okay, I love this person enough to walk this path. Checking in, are you okay? Having moments where you say, listen, let's go and talk. Let's sit and talk about how do you feel. Do you feel loved by me? Do you still feel loved
Yes.
by me? Am I
A good one.
am I not pleasing you the right way? Like these
How can I
conversations.
serve you?
Service.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And men, you can't be a good leader if you don't know how to serve.
Amen.
You can't be a good leader if you don't know how to serve.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it goes both ways again. Having these conversations,
Yeah.
be intentional every single day that you get up. Be intentional about the person that you're with
Yep.
and how you're pouring into that individual. You understand? And if they're not receptive,
Yeah.
ask the questions like, why is it that you feel like you are this way? Why do you feel like you respond a certain type of way? Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to talk.
Yeah.
You understand? You might be surprised. The person might say to you, listen, it's because of how you talk to me.
Yeah.
It's because of how you act when you're around this. It's
Yeah.
because of what you do when it comes to that aspect.
Or something you did.
Yeah, just be
Yeah.
open.
Yep.
And if the person says that to you, don't be quick to put up a fight and say, but this and but that. Be intentional on how you listen to the individual.
Yeah. Take it as information.
Don't listen to respond.
But listen to understand.
You understand? Don't listen to respond.
Yeah.
Because that happens a lot. We deal with it.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And sometimes we have to be back up and say, well, let's listen, let's listen to what each other is saying and try to figure it out.
Yeah. Amen.
You get what I'm saying, guys? It takes a lot
Yeah.
when it comes to nurturing that aspect of love.
It does. It absolutely does.
It takes a lot. It's not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It's not a walk in the park. You have to be intentional. You have to be consistent. It's a day-to-day thing. Nurture what you have.
Yes.
Nurture the relationship that you have with your spouse.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great point. Awesome.
Amen.
All right. So there's another point I wanted to mention, and then I'm gonna just hand back over. The the whole idea of when couples reach in a cycle of bumping heads, like I just don't know how to figure out this person, or it doesn't matter what I do, I just can't please this person, or it feels like nothing I do is enough, nothing I do, I can never be on the good graces of my spouse, I just can't seem to win. There is something that we call staying in the negative cycle, like staying in the cycle of the confusion, or you can try something new. And when we talk about trying something new, we're talking about it's time to start to improve the communication. Open the phone lines, open the line. Hey Tajia,
Hey,
good
good time,
night, good
Taji.
night, good night. So open the lines where, okay, we have been bumping heads all this time. How do we now step out of the negative cycle? Because almost every couple, they're existing in those two cycles. So the negative cycle is what you know, what you're used to. So you're still doing things how you know. You're
Yes.
still loving on the person how you want to love them. You're still being over religious with your spouse. And they're not receptive.
Yeah, yeah.
They love you, but they can't hear you. Because all you know is religion. You speak overly in a manner where they're not accepting of that. That is not one of their I don't know if that's not considered a love language, but that's not one of the ways that they attach and become emotionally linked and intimate with you. Maybe they want to talk about let's say finances, but you are more into church. And so these things are things that make couple feel like they're apart. They're not seeing eye to eye. Some people are saying, okay, I will do this for you to show you that I love you. Another person is saying, you're never doing this, and so you don't love me.
Yes.
And so when you find this is happening, that's the negative cycle. It's continuing. It is going back and forth, back and forth. And a lot of the resentment is up here. A lot of things in marriages are not said. Remember, we talk about the secret agreement. A lot of things in marriages are mental. I can't attach to you because of something I have up here, whether it's something you did in the past, something that happened to the person. And so that other spouse is starved.
Yes.
That other spouse wants a part of you that you seem to can't give. That other person can't get fed emotionally, intimately, because you don't have it. What do? Try something new. The new thing that we're talking about is to start to say, hey, there is a problem, there is a challenge. Now we need to have some real conversations. Are you loved by me? Do you feel loved by me? Do you feel loved by me? And now we're going to say, hey, this is how I knew, or I was shown how to love. How do you want to be loved?
Yes.
What are you? What are your needs? What are your desires? What are your expectations of me? Did you
Yes.
know that this was my expectation of you? Oh my God, I can't believe that this is how you actually want to be loved. I never knew that about you.
Yes. Yes.
And then you start to step into newness. That's when you start to dare to rock the boat. Dare to rock the boat. Because I promise you, a lot of couples, they're sitting down and nobody's saying anything because they don't want to disturb the peace. But there's a war going on the inside. They're not happy. Not happy. And so on the outside, you're polished. Things are kept orderly and in line, but you're not loving the person the right way. What is the right way? How they feel loved, how they desire to feel appreciated and wanted and validated and seen and heard. Because not what you give, not all the time what you give is what I need. And not all the time what I give is what he needs. And sometimes there's the other part. Sometimes you are giving a little and they need more.
My God.
And some people say, oh, I can't give more. And others would say, but I thought I was doing my best. It's time to improve the communication. Dare to rock the boat. Somebody must speak out. Or you're going to try to make things be at peace on the outside, but there's a war on the inside. What is the right way you want to be loved? Because right, the word right is relative.
Yes.
The word right is a case by case scenario. My right is not your right. It's not a prescription for all. The word right is relative. What is your right? How do you want to be loved? Elaine, how do you want to be loved? Tajia, how do you want to be loved? Sir Gerthy, how do you want to be loved? The other people who are online, how do you want to be loved? And how does your spouse want to be loved? Do you know? Do you know how your partner wants to be loved? For those who are watching the replay, take it very seriously. How do you want to be loved? And how does your spouse want to be loved? What is the point of frustration in your marriage right now? Do you really feel you are nurturing this man how he wants to be nurtured? Are you really nurturing this woman how she wants to be catered to and for? Think about it.
Deep.
My God.
That's deep. That's deep. You know, as you talk about, I remember you were saying something about, you know, getting to marriage and how you view that whole aspect, you know, as pretty much as a new person.
Yeah.
I can remember, you know, getting married. You know, when we got married, I just felt like it would just be roses, you know, peaches and cream.
Yeah.
I could never think in my mind that I would be dissecting the whole aspect of how I needed to be loved.
Well, how else would how else would I know? Like,
No. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying because you are just used to, you know, getting into a relationship
and the person just
and
figure
then,
it out.
You know, we just, you know, we just feel a little mushy feeling, and then I say I love you and you love me, and then we just do a little thing.
Yeah,
we coloring
that's
and,
surface love.
You know, we go out and we, you know, we have a little arguments here and there, but not on the basis of, hey, this is who I am and this is how I need you to love me.
Don't you think that comes with a more stable relationship and a more long-term committed relationship?
Yes, but I also feel like it still happens even when you
Are committed. Okay.
It can happen even when you're committed.
You're in long-term. That's true.
Because as I said and as we were discussing, we're talking about programming.
Yeah.
You know, for years you're just been programmed a certain way, and I guarantee you, you know, you have a lot of wives might be out there saying, listen, my husband never buy me a rose yet, I love rose.
Yeah.
Or never do this yet, but me love it.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when, you know, it might be verbalized, it still might be looked at as, oh, it's not really that
Not
important.
a big deal. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like opening the door for me. Like I like when a man open the,
Giving compliments.
you know,
Yeah.
compliments and all that good stuff. But for the other individual, it's not that
It's not a big deal.
a big of a deal.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it does happen also in commitment. But at the same time, it's just it is, how should I put it?
Put it how you want to put
I
it.
just feel like, again, as I said, you
Yeah.
can be programmed in a way that dissecting the whole aspect of love and how
Yeah.
you want to be loved is just not a conversation.
It's true.
It's just like
It's true.
it's just like we just float on the
Yeah,
same frequency.
yeah.
You know, things change. All right, we argue here, we come back here, we do this, we do that. Like just
Yeah.
floating on the same frequency. Bring me out, maybe not bring me out.
Yeah. Default and autopilot.
Yes.
Just living on autopilot. Especially I find that, I don't want to say, it's sometimes it's something bad to say, especially church marriages, like marriages in church. It feels so much like it's just programmed. It's just programmed. And then you feel like there's so many spouses that don't know their spouses. That you just don't know your partner like you think you do. And it doesn't feel like you have a friend in your spouse. How many spouses are friends? Are you friends with your partner?
Yes.
Is your partner your best friend, or do you have somebody else who is your best friend, or a friend outside of your spouse? And these are the things that really shatters intimacy. It shatters intimacy. And you will know, you can say, oh, my best friend, that he or she will appreciate that. And they say, your spouse will love that. Boy, I don't know, you probably have to call him and ask him. You don't know how to love your
Yes, yes,
spouse.
yes, yes.
You don't know. And like you said, programmings. Church programmed me a lot to not want to love him how he wanted to be loved. My husband is very expressive. He's hands-on. You're not expressive and hands-on. Yes, I look so.
Oh no, don't watch that.
So he's very expressive. His love language is physical touch. And because I grew up in church, I don't think mine is physical touch. And so programming is one of the biggest ways that will blindside if and some it's just so sad. Like all I'm hearing is like wasted years. So many marriages have wasted time and years because that bond is not there.
Yes.
Like your spouse is not your friend. You don't know the person. You don't know what makes the same theme song that we had with this post. I want to know what makes you cry. I want to know so that I can be your everything or something like that.
Whatever.
Whatever it is. Tell me what I have to do to please you. Anything you say, I'll do. Will you do anything? Somebody said, no, I'm not doing That made me laugh today. It was like, no, I'm not doing anything and everything.
I will do anything for you, but I won't do that.
But I won't do that. So programming can
Yes.
say, listen, I'm not doing that, or that's too much for me. But it's really relative and it's case by case. What are your barriers to knowing how to love the person and then saying, okay, I'm willing to do that? Are there any that you can recognize and say, listen, tonight we're working on it and we're not gonna assume that we know how to love this man and know how to love this woman. Yes, you do your own studying, but the best person to ask is the man and the woman. Let it, what's that? Normalize.
Yes.
That's the statement nowadays, the expression. Normalize asking your spouse, how do you want to be loved? What makes you feel drawn to this person? Or what makes this person feel more drawn to you? What makes him feel loved by you?
Yes.
Ask him. Ask her.
I feel like a lot of relationship have to go back in reset mode.
Yes, reset mode.
You know,
Back to
a
the
lot of marriage,
foundation.
reset mode.
Yeah.
And you know, I know and I understand like a lot of marriages might be going through, you know, the whole aspect of trust.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
once
yeah.
once the whole trust
Safety.
trust is broken,
Yeah.
it's like a fight to get back there.
Or the fight is done. The fight is gone.
Yeah, you can get to a place where it's nobody's is really fighting.
Yeah,
you know?
we're just
So
existing.
It's not one thing. It's a lot of reasons. But I guarantee you guys, most times when you get to a certain place where you just don't want to ask certain questions, you don't want to do this, you don't want
Yes.
to do that. It's just the whole trust, lack
Trust.
of trust.
Safety has been
You
messed
don't
with.
feel safe with your partner anymore. You understand? And one thing I learned, you know, once trust has been broken, it takes some hard work to get back to that place.
Oh yes.
And I'm not talking about just hard work with the person that was you know got hurt. It's really hard work when it comes to the partner
The person.
creating that safe
Okay.
space again
Okay.
for that individual, for
Yes.
your wife or for your husband.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. You understand, the person might be triggered over and over because they're still remembering, you know, the act of what you did or whatever happened that caused the person to
Yeah.
feel like there's no safe space anymore.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some work.
Yeah. It
You
is.
understand? It's gonna take some rebuilding,
Relearning.
relearning. You know, creating that atmosphere,
Yeah.
and that safe space for your spouse. You get what I'm saying, guys? So
Yep.
it's a lot of things.
It is a lot. It
But
is
I
a
feel
lot.
like once again, if you're intentional about what you're doing,
Yes.
if you truly love your partner, if you truly love your spouse, you're gonna put in the work. You're gonna put in the work. If you both love each other and you speak on whatever it is that you're feeling, I promise you,
Yes.
the work and it's not gonna take one person. It's both
Both.
persons, both individual,
Yes.
implementing different things to create that bond and that safety. Be friends again, you know,
Friends, yeah.
best friends.
It's
You
yeah. It
get what I'm
starts from
saying?
friendship.
Best friends again. Start from there.
Yeah.
You know, there are moments where you might have to just cuddle and there's no sex. Like these things that
Get
says, listen, yeah,
close.
I'm not doing this to be intimate. I just want to build that friendship again.
Yeah.
You understand? I just want,
Absolutely.
yeah, I just want to build that friendship again. It's not about sex or anything like that. I just want for us to build that friendship. Let's sit
Yeah.
and talk. Let's sit and laugh. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Share your heart with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you have to get back to that place where it's
Yes.
not just about sex or anything along that line. It's really reconnecting.
Yeah.
It's almost like starting over. Listen, babe, we haven't been on a date for a minute. Let's go on a date. Let's go out. Let's laugh again. Let's have these moments again.
Wow.
Men, start buying your lady's rose. If you have never bought her a rose, start buying her
some
roses.
females say they don't like roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I heard somebody say they don't like roses, and that but it comes back to the point where learn her because it's not everybody who wants.
Well, if she don't like roses, she might love money. Give her money. You
You
understand?
can't go wrong with a wife and money.
Yeah, give her money.
Give her the
something.
money.
Ask her like, what do you really like?
Yeah.
What do you really love? And take it from there.
Yes.
But it's something that you have to be intentional. It's beautiful, guys. I feel like when God gave us marriage, it's like an assignment.
Yeah.
You understand? We are both working on each other. You understand? I don't think there's anybody that has gotten into or met the perfect person
Yeah.
to say I have a perfect marriage.
Yeah.
And so regardless, and even when you do the work,
Exactly.
yeah, even when you do the trauma work and the this and that work, you're still not going to be.
They're not gonna be 100%.
100%.
The healing is a life journey.
Yes.
You'll never be perfectly healed.
So even in those moments of you meeting somebody that you might still have some little
triggers.
little dust,
Yeah.
little this or go on.
Residue.
You can both, nurture each other.
Yeah.
Create that safe space for each other. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Take your time to build your little world.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you can just get so caught up in the frequency, just riding on that frequency that you really don't take the time to pinpoint to say, okay, what do we need to do or what do we need to implement to make this marriage flourish? We just are going.
Yeah.
Especially for those that have been married for years.
For years.
You get what I'm saying? You'll be surprised. There are beautiful things that can be rekindled. You understand? So
Yeah.
So that's something that you have to think about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any more points?
Yeah, there's a certain thing, some things I just want to share. It don't make no sense with here rambling and talking on certain. What do you like, Kadeem? Money. That's a good word. Word Truth Network. What do you
Word
like,
Truth
Kadeem?
Network.
Kadeem?
What do you like, Kaden? Money.
That's a good one. Everybody love money, man.
Oh, they're responding to Kaden. Yes, learn each other. I don't like roses either. You see, some people don't like roses.
Oh,
And I
Kaden.
know I heard another wife say that she don't like roses. She doesn't like roses.
It's funny.
You've never heard that?
Never.
You see?
Never.
Expectation.
I have never heard that one before.
Because to be honest, like sometimes when you used to, like in the first part when you used to buy roses, I never liked them.
You serious?
I didn't like roses. I did not like them because
I'm just knowing that.
I didn't have any appreciation for roses because I wasn't used to like. Ooh, you remember what I asked you the first time you bought it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like I said, who still take rose? I think that's what I said the first time. Like you said, I said, who would still take roses?
I've never. Yeah.
But then it grew on me. Like after
Okay.
a while, I loved them. So like even recently when you bought it, it's like I can't see myself not getting a rose.
Okay.
Because it's really, special and but before
Yeah.
I just couldn't appreciate it.
Yes.
I just didn't like it.
I can remember. It's me, Anthony, Brad.
Oh,
Oh,
hey, Brad!
Big up, big up, man.
Hey, Brad.
My brother, you just met my night, man. You just met my
Brad
night.
said, we're like getting money.
Yeah.
Yes,
You just
but
big
we're
up yourself, Brad.
Yes,
And,
bless you
and
guys.
Kaylin. I understand. I can remember the first time I bought somebody that I was dating, back in the day, Rose. I got pretty much the same
The same
Like,
response.
yeah. She was just not used to that whole aspect of
Yeah.
somebody giving her a rose. And you have somebody, yeah man, big up Brad. You have a lot of persons, especially, Jamaicans, maybe know
Culture,
it's different,
yeah.
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 Especially if you're in a certain bracket. Them always say uptown people and
Yeah.
them used to roses and all them type of stuff. But she did not know what to do with it. Well, I was the type of person now I'm not talking to you, I'm just
I know. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
what
she
do
was
you do
receptive,
with
but
it,
she
though?
really did not know. And so what she did, she
Yeah.
put it in our fridge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She put it in the fridge?
Yeah, man, she put it in our fridge.
Because I was going to say, what do you really do with a rose? But then I remember that you have to kind of like put it in water and the vase
So she
and stuff.
she placed it in our fridge. But I do understand.
wow.
I do understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a few
Some closing tips.
some closing tips, guys, that I want to share tonight
Yeah.
when it comes to rekindling that flame. Oh, brother, love.
Right,
You
you
have
put
to
it
love
in
your
the
partner
fridge.
the right way. Again, we spoke about showing appreciation.
Yeah.
A lot of times we fail to be verbal when it comes to our partner.
Yeah.
Showing appreciation. Hey, I appreciate you. It's not just I'm thinking about it, or you should have known that already, man. We are married for umpteen years. You must know something. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Tell it to the person. Be verbal when it comes to that. Be vocal about it.
Yeah.
You understand? And then not just being vocal with your words, it's also with your actions.
Yeah.
Do something nice for the person to show, listen, I appreciate you. Whether it's
I
just
see you.
writing a little note or something, whichever way you feel like you can express that.
Yeah.
Be vocal about it. Hey, I appreciate you. You've been a great father. You've been a great wife.
Yeah.
You've been taking care of the kids. I love how you make sure some good when it comes to the food where you cook.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just feel like it should be expected.
Yeah. Or you should just know. that you are
Yeah, it's
appreciated.
no. When I'm talking about expected, meaning that sometimes we can get so carried away and feeling
Oh.
like because we're married,
The rule.
we just expect you
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? I just expect you to
Yeah.
cook for me. I just expect you to clean for me. I just expect you to do.
It's true.
You
It's
get,
true.
so you get lost in you just say quote unquote lost in the sauce
In
when
the
it comes to
autopilot.
when it comes to just saying, listen, hey, I appreciate you
Yeah.
for doing this. You're my wife or you're my husband, but I see you.
Yeah.
Beautiful right there. The other thing is compliment each other.
Good one.
Don't be afraid to compliment each other.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't take it for granted.
babe, you look good.
Yeah.
She have on something nice, babe, you look good. I love how you put yourself together. Same thing with your husband.
Of course.
Honey, I love that suit. Don't be afraid
Yeah.
to compliment each other.
Absolutely.
Again, what about it not being reciprocated?
Oh, it definitely should be.
It definitely should be. And again, sometimes, and my wife spoke about it, sometimes it's really based on where the person is. You get what I'm saying? Like, if the person is not at that place where those things are really
Or it means anything.
means
to them.
anything, you're going to get that response. So
gonna be a
don't be
struggle.
afraid to have the conversation.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to have the conversation.
Rock the boat.
Yeah, you might sit down and cuss about it. Why you never tell me this yet? Or you never tell me that yet? And the person is just innocently saying, listen, I really did not know.
Yeah.
Or I really did not feel like, okay, this was something You know,
Yeah.
especially culture. Jamaican culture, aye, aye, aye. But we're not going to use that as a crutch. It is something that should be a part of any relationship, especially sometimes it start out that way.
And I want to add a point that I used to be this was something that was very hard for me to Brad, where giving compliments or sharing appreciation or expressing appreciation was very hard for me. It's not that I didn't know Anthony wanted to be told he was doing a good job, or I saw him, I appreciated him, but in my heart, in my mind, I felt stupid. I felt foolish saying things like that.
Yes.
I felt inferior. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to talk about the importance of the lines of
Chivalry.
chivalry that is
Today's
in today's
society
society
is
is
not
not
embraced
embraced
for
for
both
both.
husband and wife, yeah.
That's true too. But going back to the point, give me a second, Bradley. I felt stupid. I just felt foolish. I felt inferior. And that was because of my history where not having a father to show up for me, I felt that resentment towards men. And I felt like men who were in leadership were an opposition to me. And it was so strange, and I didn't know this about myself, but I realized that all that secretive agreement, or that one-on-one agreement I had in my head,
Yes.
that I will never stoop to a man.
Yes.
I will work on under leadership.
Yes.
It seems like I submitted to my husband, but in my heart I am not going on my knees.
Yeah.
I am not going to be like this submissive wife, because no man now go rule me like that. And so that was what made it feel so foolish. And so I feel like a lot of wives are at this place where you can't rule me, or you can't be the boss of me, because of what's in their heart from their past, or what's in their heart about their spouse. So from a female perspective, or from a wife's perspective, a lot of females feel like that. If you tamper with my safety, my respect for you goes, my love, and how I show you respect and love, is gonna go through the window, because females are like that.
Feel independent femininity competing with the masculine.
It's true.
Yeah,
As destroy the fabric of how two people can show. Yes,
Brad, I feel like
that's true.
Brad, I feel like that is from creation.
Yes.
That is from creation.
Yes.
Adam and
What
Eve.
about the curse?
That is the reason why I got her to, the whole curse thing that you place on both of them. Be submissive and your, desires.
You're gonna be for your husband.
For your husband. It's a reason why I did that. Because, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but I believe when Adam and Eve were in the garden, on a spiritual level, they were both on one level.
Yes,
Spiritually. They were both on one level. She was his helpmeet. You understand? So being on the same level, nobody's looking at, I am a leader over you, or you should submit to this person. No, they were just there helping each other out as one, and doing whatever they're doing. But when that came in, when she went and did what she did and God put the curse, from that day,
man and woman always.
man and woman at it.
Always at it.
You understand? Be submissive to
Power
your husband
struggle.
and husband. Love your wife and be the leader.
Power
Power
struggle,
struggle.
ego, pride, lack of submission, hurt in this one. It's just a fallen world.
You understand?
Fallen.
I feel like yeah. Once we break that code, the marriages will flourish.
It's true.
Once a woman learns to walk in her femininity and understanding
true.
that it's not her being weak. It's not her
Power under control.
Yeah, that's power under control.
Yeah.
It's not about her being weak.
Yeah.
And a man understand that being a leader don't mean being a dictator.
Or a boss. Never take each other for granted. Yes, Elaine.
Yeah, it's not about being a dictator and pointing finger and talk about you do this and do that and you're the boss and whatever it is.
Yeah.
But be open to take correction. You understand? It's a partnership.
Partnership.
You understand?
That's
It's
good.
about serving each other. Both people serving each other.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with I am over you and you what. It's about both each other, loving and serving each other.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Pride is heavily in a lot of
Pride.
that brokenness and that competition, like Bradley said. It's a lot of pride, and the Bible even talk about it, that when anytime you see marriages, and again, case by case situation, but once there's a marriage,
Yes.
many times somebody did not want to submit, someone did not want to come down.
Yes.
You know, like we said, come down. Come down. There's somebody who would never want to come down.
Yes. Everybody wants
Somebody
something.
no want to come down.
Yes, yes. So the other implementing, we're talking about implementing. Something that you can implement is
Yeah.
holding each other.
Yeah.
You know, kissing and holding each other. I'm not talking about when you're getting to that place of intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-50 each, giving on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm not talking about whenever you're getting to that place of intimacy, and you realize that it is not something that is really a big part of, especially
Yeah.
our culture. The only time, sometimes we will find ourselves hugging our partner or kissing our partner is really when it's time to
To do the do.
to do the do. Let it be a part of your day-to-day lives, you know, holding your partner for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Give her a kiss and an embrace and say, listen, I love you, I appreciate you. Like everything that you can pour into that person. And I promise you that will break a lot of
The barriers.
barriers. Just regulating with your partner.
Yes. Yes.
You will never know how powerful a hug
Yeah.
is
Nervous
until
system,
you
yep.
do it. When you hold that person and tell that person, listen, I love you. Not even that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can be at a place where saying I love you is like we're quick to do it on Facebook. Write it on Facebook.
Yeah.
You understand? But being verbal when it comes, or being vocal when it comes to our partner saying I love you, it's one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
Because it brings you to that place of vulnerability, of openness, and a lot of persons, it's hard for them to go there.
Yeah.
So let that be a part of your daily lives, you know, kissing and holding, not just on the basis of
Of intercourse.
of intercourse.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it. Listen to understand and not to respond.
Yeah.
Active listening, very powerful.
Yeah.
Active listening. And it happens sometimes we're talking and I already know what she's going to say.
Because the presumption.
Yeah, you know, you
Assumption.
pick it up and you know you're just quick to go give her an answer,
Yeah.
quick to go
Yeah.
respond to her. No.
Defensive.
Listen to your partner.
Yeah.
When they're finished, you say, are you finished talking? You understand? Listen to your partner. Sometimes they don't even want to respond. They just want you to listen.
To listen. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Other thing is becoming emotionally unselfish.
Wow.
A lot of times we are so selfish when it comes to our emotions, or
Yeah.
we're thinking about, oh, me,
Yeah. That's a
me,
good
my
one.
feelings and my feelings and my feelings and my feelings, and it's all about what me think and how me do feel
Yeah.
when you do that. But are we catering to our persons? Are we open to understanding how our partner is feeling? So that is very vital. Let us step away from that. Learn to think about how our partner is feeling at a certain moment. You might feel some type
Yeah.
of way. But when you listen to the other person's side, is it valid on the reason, you know, why I said that, or why this
Yeah.
went down that road, or why that went down that road? Let us be at a place where we are open to both feelings, not just, you know, myself,
Yeah.
but also my wife. So that's also
Or
another
husband.
thing.
Yeah.
Being attentive to each other's needs. Aye. Being attentive to each other's needs.
Yeah.
How can I please you and how can she please me?
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. You understand?
Wow. Personal.
How can I please you? And the person is saying, how can I please you? How
Yeah.
can you please
How
me?
yeah.
Be intentional about it. Ask. Show that you you want to please the person. You understand? So that's
Yes.
also and and number 6 is pour into each other sexually. Aye.
Hi.
You have a lot of marriages that are sex starved. We know that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? A lot of marriages are sex starved. But guys, before we get to the sex, we have to build emotional connection.
Yeah. Have to.
We have to build emotional connection. We can't jump past that and jump to bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna feel authentic. It's not
There's no
gonna feel
connection.
like it's not gonna feel like something that we're both enjoying.
Yeah.
Well, the man might enjoy it because man are just wired a certain type of way.
Yeah. Not for a
But
woman.
the woman is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It starts from how you talk to her.
Yep. It starts from the
The
mind.
mind, you get what I'm saying? Like how you make she feel throughout the day. You get what I'm saying? The respect that you
You
show.
never help in the house.
You get what I'm saying? You never help another house.
Vex.
You get what I'm saying? It starts way before.
Yes.
So build emotional connections. Build
Yeah.
emotional connections so you can pour into each other sexually.
Yes.
Best upon yourself, guys.
That's it? You done?
Yes, that's it.
All right, so we're going to just close out with, and before we close out, that's such a great point. And anybody who is married online, and you know, we don't want you guys to take it for granted. There are many areas that we can improve in, and we're not going to be long. We're going to go in the next 2 minutes, but great points. And this topic, it may seem simple, but it is one of the most you'd say it's not talked about enough. It is not explored enough. How can I love you? Am I loving you the right way? And so we don't want to let another weekend go by and we're not asking those questions to our spouses. And so this is your sign. This is your wake-up call. This is our wake-up call to say, hey, we need to be more intentional about this, and you can be more intentional about this. Thank you guys for being on tonight. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the information on the community tab about the seminar, not or as in him and I, but or as in the community, the platforms that we are on, those who are in person. The information is now out there for the seminar. Don't forget that on Thursdays you can call in to discuss your points, and you can share on the topic, ask a question, give a word of encouragement, you name it. But the seminar is coming up in May 31st at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel in Kingston, Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica. After so long, 5-6 years, we will be there to host the seminar, From Hurt to Healing. From hurt to healing. And we're going after actively emotional wellness, so that you can thrive in singleness, so that you can thrive in a marriage. And if you're going through a separation or you are divorced, so that you can thrive after those statuses, because guess what? Your life is not done either.
Amen.
And so we're gonna have some dynamic speakers. We're gonna be posting those the flyer for the speakers. We're going to make sure you CVM promote this.
Amen.
Of course.
Amen.
We're gonna try. We'll try. Let's see what kind of link and favor the Lord would provide. But yes, it's going to be epic, and not just the speakers, but just the class and the we call it the aesthetics, the ambiance, the air, the food,
prizes and surprises,
the prizes, the information. Listen, this will be life changing. We promise that it will be life-changing, and you're not just going to go and learn information, but you will be taught key points as to how to navigate. What you're looking at right here could have collapsed. Amen. This is not perfection. This marriage could have collapsed. And so who better to learn from people who have almost walked the walk and talked the talk, but some key things were implemented, and now we can say, to God be the glory. We have to teach others this, because it's not that, there's anything different or special, but there were some different things done. Yes. And so we have to pass those key secret tips on, those golden tips. Are they secrets? But we're going to pass them on so that a marriage can be saved. And so someone who is hurting after, whether in their singleness or in their marriage or in a separation status or after a divorce,
Amen.
you can thrive as well. All right, so God bless you. Go to the community tab. The information is there on how to register and all of that. If you need to contact us, that is also there. God bless you guys, and we will see you on Monday with another guest on the platform.
Amen.
Good night, everybody.
Night, guys. Brad, big up.
Big up.
Everybody else, Katie and everybody else. Big
Thank
up,
you
big
for
up.
joining.
Big up, big up, big up, big up.
Bye-bye.